The Tampa Bay Buccaneers are already one of the best teams in the league. But what would it look like if they had a roster with players in their prime at the age they were when they were in their prime? What if Richard Sherman wasn't some guy signed off the street who hasn't played football in 2021? What if Richard Sherman was the 99 overall best cornerback in the league like he was in the Legion of Boom for Seattle's defense when he's around 27 years old? Well, I've done that. And not only have I done that for the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, I've done it for every team in the NFL. Antonio Brown is just 26 years old. Tom Brady's only 31, which is still older, but it's not 45 like he is now almost, right? I mean, Gronk's 26 and a 99 overall. The entire NFL has changed drastically. Julio Jones is a 99 overall and 25. Patrick Mahomes is in his prime right now, so he's going to stay the same. J.J. Watt's back down to 25 years old. He's a 99 overall. I've done this for every single team. I've boosted overalls and turned ages down where I need to, but some players that are just in their prime, as good as they are, like Aaron Donald, he's still going to be 30 because he's as good as he ever has been. So I've done that pretty much for everybody. Von Miller, 26 years old. We have DeAndre Hopkins, still awesome, 27. Some of these players are exactly that old in real life. Khalil Mack is down to a 26-year-old. Even Joe Hayden, who is one of the best corners in the league with the Browns, he's back down to 25 years old. So you get the gist. You get the point. We'll go through some of the teams pretty quickly, but it's just the same idea. Like Jason Peters, only 31 years old now. He was one of the better tackles in the league. Jimmy Graham, 26 years old. He was a dominant tight end for the Saints. But I haven't changed the teams for these guys. If they're on the team like that they're on now, I've just changed their age, their overall, and their development. But I'm not going to change the team. I'm not going to put Jimmy Graham back on the Saints. This isn't a video like I did with resimulating the decade from 2010 to 2021. This is how the NFL would look if they had everybody at the peak of their performance. That being said, though, it's important to note there are a lot of very, very, very good free agents. Le'Veon Bell was one of the best running backs, if not the best running back in the league for a time. Le'Veon Bell is no longer that type of a player. He is in this world. He's back to 25 years old, superstar X Factor, but he and guys like Adrian Peterson, Larry Fitzgerald, Earl Thomas, and they are not 99 overalls like they could be, some of these guys. They are going to grow because they're younger. Like Adrian Peterson will be a 99 overall at the end of the year. So all these guys, LaShawn McCoy, Todd Gurley, LaShawn McCoy just retired recently, but he hasn't in this. Cam Newton was an MVP. Where are these guys going to sign? It's going to be fun to find out. So a lot of great free agents. Josh Gordon, I need to put on the Chiefs, I guess. Even RG3. This is like, what if RG3 never even got injured? We'll see what teams sign these players. It's going to make it really, really interesting. I also changed a lot of settings around on my mic. So let me know what you guys think about it. It might sound better to some of you guys. It might sound worse to others, depending on your ear and sensitivity and, frequency. Just throw out words at this point. As I'm just going to give the Chiefs Josh Gordon for a 7th round pick just to make sure that works. Just didn't have to switch teams to make that happen. But I'm not going to be controlling anything on the Bucs or any other team for that matter. Go in and just turn everything onto auto. I would expect if you're watching this channel, you've probably seen at least some of the rebuilds I've done where I control everything as an organization, drafting, signing, trading, etc. However, the CPU is going to be controlling all of it. We're just going to see what happens, which should be fun. So there's a chance that this Bucs team could sign some of these free agents as we advance the week. But if you guys like videos like this, just what ifs, make sure to subscribe for the channel. A lot more coming out in the future, including within the next few days or weeks. What if Patrick Mahomes was drafted by the Chicago Bears instead of the Kansas City Chiefs? So we're going to swap Trubisky, put him in Kansas City as a young quarterback, and see how he develops in Kansas City versus Patrick Mahomes. Does Matt Nagy ruin Patrick Mahomes? Should be a fun video, so make sure to be subscribed so you don't miss it. I mean, even Gio Bernard was pretty good for the Bengals. He's only 25 years old, 85 overall. You could say, so many different things about a lot of these guys. JPP, this is another fun one too. Only 24 years old, was a breakout star with the Giants out of USF, put up double-digit sacks in just his second year. He was awesome. And maybe he doesn't have a firework incident and ruin his career. I think the Bucs are going to be very, very good in this, but we will see. Let's go ahead and see league transactions. That's where we're going to see a lot of these big players signing. Bruce Irvin goes back to the Raiders. Demarius Randall to the Rams. Like, they are better in this, although they're not spectacular. They were never spectacular players, really. Bruce Irvin is pretty good. Dayon Buchanan got a slight boost. I'm waiting to see some of these big names, and I'm just not seeing them. Defensive Rookie of the Year, Kiko Alonso to the Pittsburgh Steelers. So he actually is going to be pretty good in this roster. Ooh, that's a big one. Geno Atkins was one of the best defensive tackles in the league. He's headed to Green Bay. RG3 to Buffalo. Don't really know that they need him. Reuben Foster was actually on track to be one of the better linebackers in the league. He goes to Cincinnati. Kaepernick's going to be pretty good. Not that the Chiefs need him, but the Chiefs got Colin Kaepernick. You know, he was really good for a playoff stretch in a year or two in there. They won Short to the Cardinals. Andre Smith was very good. He's going to the Patriots. Larry Fitz to the Eagles. Chargers got Delaney Walker. Here are the big signings. Rashad Jones to the Panthers. Mitchell Schwartz to the Steelers. They could probably use him in real life. Vic Beasley to the Colts. David DeCastro to the Vikings. Alden Smith to the Colts. The Giants got Cam Newton. MVP Cam Newton. Vontaze Burfict to the Panthers. Okung to the Steelers. Cameron Wake goes to the Seahawks. The Dolphins got Kalichi Osemele. Olivier Vernon to the Bills. Le'Veon Bell to the Eagles. Earl Thomas to the Jaguars. Damon Harrison was the best nose tackle in the league for a little while. He goes to the Dolphins. Ryan Khalil to the Bears. That would be very helpful to their O-line. But there must be some really good players just still sitting in free agency. I didn't see Adrian Peterson. He's still there. Todd Gurley, LaShawn McCoy, Tyler Eifert, Alshon Jeffrey. I feel like teams could really use these players. How do you have a 24-year-old, 98 overall running back who has superstar X factor? Yeah, experience 14 years, 24. It can't change everything, right? Doesn't let you change experience. But there's no team that wants Adrian Peterson? So that's a lie. It looks like Adrian Peterson got signed. Todd Gurley and LaShawn McCoy were not so fortunate. I'm sure they're going to be signed by the regular season, right? The regular season is almost here. LaShawn McCoy is still sitting there. Todd Gurley's gone. So Alfred Morris, who was awesome his rookie year. Lamar Miller still remain unsigned. The Seahawks, that's fun. They bring back Golden Tate. Tony Jefferson to the Rams. Timmy Jernigan to the Chargers. I see some big names. The Falcons got Alshon Jeffrey. Saints got Tyler Eifert. Eric Reed was awesome his first couple years in the league with the Niners. He goes to the Jaguars. That's also funny. Ziggy Ansah, who was drafted by the Lions, is back with the Lions. And Adrian Peterson, who has played for Washington football team, is back with them. All right, so we've seen enough. Let's go ahead and simulate to the playoffs and see which team turns out to be the best. I think it's going to be the Bucs. Between Richard Sherman, there's a point where he was the best corner in the league. Rob Gronkowski, best tight end in the league for a time. We have, who else? Antonio Brown, best receiver in the league for a time. Tom Brady, best quarterback in the league for a time. Like, when they were in their primes, they were the best players at their position in the league. The Bucs have a lot of those guys. And Ndamukong Suh was awesome. I mean, this Bucs team should be very good. They go 12-5. That's a pretty decent record, I would say. You'll take that. But the best record in the league was the Ravens, and the team that has benefited most from this has been the Philadelphia Eagles. They go 13-4. The Steelers are back at 12-5 because Big Ben's actually very good in this roster. The Browns go 12-5. There's the Bucs, Saints, Niners, Titans. The Chiefs barely sneak into the playoffs. Same thing with the Packers and Broncos. Kind of surprising on the Chiefs and the Packers. Andy Dalton had himself quite a year, but Tom Brady threw for over 6,000 yards. He was just unreal. 45 touchdowns in there as well. I mean, he's a 99 overall quarterback, and he's younger now. His accuracies are insane. He's as fast as he ever would have been. 59 speed. Jameis Winston was unreal. Not that he's particularly great in this roster. He was never a particularly great player. Andy Dalton's kind of a weird one. Like, he got slight boosts, but was unreal in Chicago. Mahomes killed it. Matt Ryan is back to MVP form. Because this was, I took his prime the year he won MVP as a 31-year-old. He was awesome. Cam Newton with the Giants was even quite good. Big Ben, as you guys can see, is a 98 overall. Like, Big Ben is very, very good in this. Cam Newton's up to a 99 overall as an X Factor development trait. Cam Newton, insane. Joe Flacco, even in his prime. He had such an unreal Super Bowl run, or playoff run in general. Let's say Super Bowl run. And his attributes have been boosted quite a bit as well. He was only 27 at the time, now 28 in this. So, you know, some of these guys got major, major, major boosts. Le'Veon Bell had a great year with the Eagles. Adrian Peterson averaged 6.6 yards per carry. Probably should get a few more carries than that. Like, look at this. Saquon had 11 rushing yards on 315 carries. Adrian Peterson had more rushing yards at 1,547 on like 80 less carries. Todd Gurley was excellent. I mean, usually you see Christian McCaffrey just tear it up. This is a big one too. David Johnson was one of the best running backs in the league. He's crazy good in this roster, of course, because it's prime David Johnson. He was very, very, very good. Devontae Freeman was awesome for the Falcons, and that's reflected, of course, in this roster. Frank Gore, even, is a 97 overall. He looks ridiculous with the face scan. I can't get over how small his head looks. LaShawn McCoy with the Chiefs. That's fun. He was on the Chiefs, won a Super Bowl with the Chiefs. And he is up to a 99 overall, not getting a ton of touches. Antonio Brown came to play. Had over 1,700 yards with the Bucs, just killing it. Allen Robinson was great. Look at Odell. This is prime Odell. He's up to a 99 overall now. He was one of the best receivers in the league. Injuries have really hurt him the past few seasons, but has been great for the Browns so far. The numbers haven't really been there yet. It was decent in his first game back, and then he got double teamed almost every single play, it felt like, this past week as I record this. And even so, Odell was getting open a lot last week. Just Baker couldn't connect on a lot of throws. There was a big one down the sideline where Odell was super open. Baker just missed him. Would have been like 40, 50 yards maybe, depending on what you can do after the catch. Odell only had 2 catches for 27 yards, but was excellent, which is why you can't just look at catches and yards for how good a receiver is. You got to look at, you know, so many different things, and you got to actually watch them and see how good they were, despite what numbers they may or may not have put up. Alshon Jeffrey was quite good with the Atlanta Falcons. Mecole Hardman crushing it. Who's kind of like a washed receiver. Like, I guess Randall Cobb is really good in this. He got upgraded a ton. He was awesome for a while with the Packers. And keep in mind that some of these overalls have changed because the player got like an overall bump over the course of the year. So I didn't make Randall Cobb a 93 overall in this roster. I probably made him like an 87, 88, and he got upgraded like 3 over the course of the season to a 91. Golden Tate was quite good in the league for a while too. And he had a pretty good year with the Seahawks, but I'm looking for someone who, I mean, Delaney Walker, I guess, is a prime example of someone that was really, really good. Great blocking tight end. I mean, he was a do-it-all guy. Not the biggest, more of an H-back sometimes, but awesome. Like, one of the best blocking tight ends I could probably even come up with. Kyle Rudolph got kind of a nice little boost. But defense is going to be interesting. Alec Ogletree. Prime Alec Ogletree was on the Rams in like his second season in the league. He's not like a super great overall, but put up insane tackling numbers. I mean, KJ Wright restored back to his like Legion of Boom type self at 27 years old. Mark Barron was a decent linebacker, converted safety. This is not Bucs Mark Barron. This is like Rams Mark Barron. I mean, Desmond King, quite good. He got a little bit of an overall boost. Sheldon Rankins led the league in tackles for loss. I don't know where that T came in. Melvin Ingram was awesome for a while with the Chargers. Not as good now, but still good. Von Miller, he got a boost back up to like a 99 overall. He's insane. Had 26 sacks, broke the record for sacks in a season. Marcus Lawrence in there. The sack numbers are not overwhelmingly crazy. I guess a lot of the offensive linemen got boosts, but even look at Justin Houston. This is a perfect example. He's back to 27 years old, superstar X Factor, 97 overall, playing up to a 99 overall. He was insane. JJ Watt, I think, is like maybe the best example in this entire thing. Before injuries, JJ Watt was on pace to be like the best defensive player ever. And I mean, the numbers certainly reflect that with those ratings. He is just crazy. I mean, even Khalil Mack got a little bit of a boost because he was down a little bit, but still amazing. And then interceptions, Bobby Wagner. Janoris Jenkins got a nice little boost as well. Stephon Gilmore, Miles Jack, Rashad Jones. Rashad Jones with the Dolphins was one of the better safeties in the league. Hate that he's wearing number 15, but he was quite good. He gets a nice little boost in there. As for the rest of these guys, like, I don't really see a lot of older players that are younger again playing well. I mean, Richard Sherman in there. Let's see the playoff bracket. Let's see what goes on here. We have the Ravens, of course, with the best record. Eagles on the other side, best record in the NFC. Patriots, Broncos, Titans, Browns, Chiefs, Steelers in the AFC. And the NFC has Cardinals, Niners, Bucks, Saints, Packers, Cowboys. Should be a very, very interesting slate of games. A lot of interdivisional playoff matchups there. And we'll see who gets out of the wild card and into the divisional. The Bucks did. Bucks beat the Saints. And then we have Cardinals, Bucks in the divisional. Eagles, Cowboys. Wow, that's a fun matchup. I mean, I'm an NFC East guy as a Giants fan. No Giants in there. Very sad. But Ravens, Broncos, we've seen that before. And Steelers, Titans. To get to the championship games for their respective conferences. Let's see what goes down here. One game away from the Super Bowl if you win that game. Larry Fitzgerald, of course, with the Eagles. We saw that. And the Bucks win again. You know, I thought this Bucks team would be very, very good, and they're proving that they are. As the Titans and the Broncos will square off in the AFC Championship. And the Eagles beat the Cowboys by a point. Will also advance to the NFC Championship to take on this Bucks team, as we already knew. One game from the Super Bowl, and we'll see the Pro Bowl rosters as well, I guess. Just a quick glance at those. But the Bucks have won again, and they'll be facing the Tennessee Titans in the Super Bowl. Let's go ahead and see the Pro Bowl roster very quickly. Jameis Winston, Joe Flacco, Dak Prescott, Lamar Jackson, Baker, Patrick Mahomes. Who are the standouts? David Johnson, Le'Veon Bell. Melvin Gordon got a big boost. Don't really know how you even make the Pro Bowl as a fullback. I'm assuming it's all just like rushing or receiving stats in there. Odell in there, Mecole Hardman, Randall Cobb. Jarvis Landry got a little bit of a boost. Jacoby Myers is very odd to see in there. Kyle Rudolph, Delaney Walker are kind of some standouts. Zach Ertz got a big boost. Russell Okung. Who are some big weird ones? Cordy Glenn. Cordy Glenn is a strange one. He was in his prime as a tackle, but I think I left him at guard. Anyone else? Kevin Zeitler got a big boost, I guess. Juwan James got a big boost. Olivier Vernon got a big boost. Now on to defense. DeMarcus Lawrence, same deal. Whitney Merciless, too. Whitney Merciless got a nice boost. Malik Jackson did, too. Geno Atkins got a huge upgrade. Manti Te'o got a little bit of a boost. Same with Alec Ogletree. Anyone else, like, real notable? Dante Fowler Jr. got a little bit of an upgrade. Joe Hayden. Logan Ryan, I guess. Rashad Jones. And I think that's pretty much it. I could have been a little bit more generous with LaMarcus Joyner's overall. But I think that's pretty much it for the Pro Bowls. And Bucks Titans. Pretty fun matchup here. I think the Titans are pretty outmatched and outclassed. It's a 96 overall Bucks team versus an 83 overall Titans team. I mean, what do you do with prime Richard Sherman, prime Antonio Brown, prime Gronk, prime Tom Brady? What do you do against that? There's really not a whole lot you can do. So we'll see the first drive here for the Titans, probably looking to get the ball to Derrick Henry. They don't have Delaney Walker in this, even though Delaney Walker was a great piece of their offense, as Derrick Henry will rumble forward for a gain of close to 9. 2nd and 2, guess who? It's Derrick Henry on an outside zone to the right side. He's got space, and he bowls over Carlton Davis for a nice gain. As good as this Bucks team is, they are going to struggle against a runner and an offensive line that the Titans have like this, and Derrick Henry and some great studs up front. All run so far for the Titans, and Henry's got room. Another first down, averaging over 10 per carry, is the freight train that is Derrick Henry right now. Had his legs taken out by Jordan Whitehead. But this Titans offense is off to an amazing start. They're going to stick in a big jumbo formation. And this is going to be play action. Tannehill to throw, and he finds his receiver. That's A.J. Brown for the first. Now, out of the gun. We have a 2-by-1. One running back in the backfield. I think it's going to be Darrington Evans who gets the handoff. It's actually Jeremy McNichols. Okay. My bad on that. Jeremy McNichols, I guess, is still in the NFL. Here's 2nd and 9. Under center now is Tannehill. He has time. He's going to just check down. Once again, that's Jeremy McNichols. And this Titans offense is thriving. However, they're facing their first 3rd down of the drive. They're going to hand the ball up the middle. And that one appears to be short. Vita Vea. And Ndamukong Suh making the stop, forcing the Titans to be just short. And on 4th and inches in the Super Bowl from the opposing 13, they're going to try a field goal. Here's the kick. It is good. Titans take the lead early, 3-0 on an Aldrick Rosas field goal. And we'll see if the Bucs can answer. And now Tom Brady and an extremely overpowered Bucs offense will take the field. How do you throw for over 6,000 yards in a season? The extra game obviously helps, but these are unbelievable, literally unbelievable numbers. I'm not sure we'll ever see a quarterback throw for 6,000 yards. I'm not saying it's impossible. I'm just saying it is extremely unlikely. But I guess if anyone's going to do it, it's going to be the guy who makes the impossible happen the last 2 decades in Tom Brady, who will throw over the middle and find Antonio Brown on the dig. Nearly intercepted, looks like by Rashawn Melvin. Kevin Byard came over to make the tackle, but Antonio Brown has a pickup of 19 yards on the first offensive player of the game for the Tampa Bay Bucs. Brady now out of the shotgun. Will move empty. Brady with time throws to the flat and finds a receiver. It looks like to be, is that Scotty Miller? Scotty Miller, and Brady is 2 for 2 now. It was Scotty Miller for 6. 2nd and 4 now for the Bucs. They're still not going to run. And Brady over the middle to Antonio Brown on a slant. Seems to be the favorite target of Tom Brady. I mean, he did have 1,700 plus receiving yards this past season. Now maybe finally a run for Tampa Bay, and it will be. Titans swarm, and he's got nowhere to go. That was Gio Bernard. Just shut down. And of course, after that, Tampa will move back into the shotgun, surely passing. Stack on the left side of the field, but Brady facing pressure and nearly sacked. Just got the throwaway. 2-by-1. Mike Evans at the bottom of your screen. We'll see what they do on 3rd and 10. Brady under center, drops back, throws quickly, finds Antonio Brown, but incomplete. And Tampa Bay will punt. I did not see that coming at the start of the game. And we're going to go ahead and simulate a lot more of this game now, not in this slow format, and see what happens. Tampa ties it at 3, but the Titans scored the first touchdown of the game and then answered that with a field goal. And they're up 16-3 now into the second half, dominating the Tampa Bay Buccaneers 24-6. And the Titans have absolutely smashed the best offense in the league. The Bucs made a valiant effort for a comeback, but it ended up just being garbage time points. And the Tennessee Titans are Super Bowl champions. Ryan Tannehill, in his prime right now, has beaten just an all-time great NFL team in the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. 99 Richard Sherman, 99 Tom Brady, 99 Gronk, 99 Antonio Brown, Mike Evans, Chris Godwin, Levante David, Devin White, Vita Vea, and Ndamukong Suh, JPP, Shaq Barrett. It didn't matter. The Titans, when it mattered most, rose to the occasion and outperformed any logical expectations of what would happen in this game. Not only winning the Super Bowl, but demolishing the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. Ryan Tannehill. Unbelievable. So the 2021 season recap had the Titans beating the Bucs in the Super Bowl, of course. The scoreline final looks a little bit closer than the game actually was, as you guys saw. Tom Brady won MVP and Offensive Player of the Year. Von Miller back, winning Defensive Player of the Year. I said rookie for any of those. Damn. Sorry about that. Mac Jones and Jeremiah Owusu-Koramoah. First of all, Mac Jones had a great game last night as I record this. He was awesome. Playing conservatively, not doing too much. Mac Jones is never going to have the strongest arm in the world, but it's about smart decision-making and good ball placement, and he was all over that. Calling plays at the line. Great job for Mac Jones. He was playing to the highest level that Mac Jones can play. He's never going to be like a crazy tight window thrower. He just doesn't have the velocity. But the mental stuff, awesome for Mac Jones. Jeremiah Owusu-Koramoah, he's played extraordinarily well this year. I mean, you talk about just the prime ideal overhang defender, someone that can play that hybrid slot, linebacker, safety role all into one. It's Jeremiah Owusu-Koramoah. Whether it's on the ball or dropping back and playing off the ball, he's been really good at everything so far this year. Playing downhill, playing sideline to sideline. He is my defensive rookie of the year so far. It's got to be JOK. But let's go ahead and see who's going where in free agency. A lot of these free agents signed one-year deals because you can't sign players to long-term deals outside of free agency in Madden. Another flaw of the mode. But I would guess we're going to see some long-term extensions here, or long-term deals for some of the younger, awesome players like Adrian Peterson, I would bet, as well. What a class by the Bucks here. Colt McCoy could have been slightly better, although not too much. These are all the league signings? Oh, you know what? Re-sign players is a thing. So some of those guys maybe didn't even make it to free agency. They may have signed long-term deals with the teams that had previously picked them up out of free agency. So maybe Adrian Peterson, we'll check him just because he's memorable to me. You know, favorite player of all time. We'll check out his contract. Russell Okung to Miami. Dontari Poe, of course, was a really, really good player for a little while. He goes to Jacksonville. Malik Jackson to Cincinnati. Sheldon Richardson to Detroit. Gio Bernard to the Dolphins. That does feel like a team he would play for. The Panthers snag Evan Ingram. Cordy Glenn, he was a Bengal, and he's going to be with the Bengals. Andre Smith, the Dolphins. Kyle Long to Detroit. Carlton Davis. Some interesting signings there. So Adrian Peterson is clearly just unbelievable. Feels so odd to see him wear a number that isn't 28. But his contract is probably a huge one. 7 years. And for his sake, I hope that Washington football team is bad and they end up hiring a different coach with a different playbook where he's going to be utilized a ton. But that is a massive deal. Earning as much as $16.1 million in 2026. 7 years. Just a ton of money overall. Massive. Almost 100 mil in 7 years. And is the game frozen for me? Here's my controller. The game's frozen. Not going to spend too long worrying about the draft just because it's not really the point of the video. Show maybe the first 5 picks and maybe the highest overall 5 players after the draft is over. But Gabe Jackson, not going to play right guard anymore. He's going to be a quarterback in the league. That's nice. But yeah, it doesn't seem to be a crazy draft class from the first 5. Some okay players. We'll see the full draft class. But again, it's not the point of the video. The point of the video is to see players who are washed, for lack of a better word, and seeing, how would these guys affect teams in their prime. And the Titans, which is an odd one, they don't really have a lot of players that fit that description. Maybe Julio's older, not quite as good as he once was, but Julio's still really good. So I don't know, man. The Titans, I'm surprised to see them beat the Bucks in the Super Bowl. And man, there was an 81 overall running back. And it couldn't have gone to a better team. They don't have anyone there currently, right? Oh, a 99 overall 25-year-old running back? They're going to take a running back who's 2 years younger after paying Adrian Peterson about 100 mil over 7 years. Why would they do that? Why would they do that? Man, there are a lot of 77s in this class. A lot of running backs, too, that are rated very, very well. But that is just so dumb. All Madden draft logic is... There isn't even draft logic. There is lack of any type of logic. It's deplorable at best. So we'll do another season here. There isn't really a ton else to show you in the NFL rosters. Like, yeah, we didn't see every single team, every single position, every single player that has developed. I mean, you can see a lot of these guys in there now. Geno Atkins with the Ravens. You can see some of these names and players who are younger. Richard Sherman's on the Saints now. Of course, we couldn't afford to keep everybody. I say we. I'm not the Bucks. I am the Bucks. I'm not controlling them. I don't know. I am the Bucks, but I'm also not the Bucks. So a lot of these players actually would end up leaving the team, and it makes sense, especially that a guy like Richard Sherman, who was on a 1-year deal, would leave and go somewhere else. But there are a lot of 99 overall players because you got to imagine this is when players are in their prime. Chris Harris Jr. is up to a 98 overall. One of the more underrated players, I feel like, in the league because we forget that Chris Harris Jr. was so good. And he was unbelievable in Denver for so many years, really. And we just forget about him being as good as he was, I think. And then, not everybody, I remember it, but I think with current perception and recency bias, we go, oh, Chris Harris Jr., he's not really amazing. Patrick Peterson, he was one of the best corners in the league. Is not anymore. I think that's what we can say safely. AJ Green was one of the best receivers in the league. Injuries really hindered his career. That could be fun to do an AJ Green career resim. Let me know if you guys would want to see that in the comments section down below. But I feel like the teams, for the most part, haven't changed very much. I mean, Kareem Hunt is up to a 95 overall, playing up to a 96. When I say haven't changed very much, I mean from the previous season, by the way. They've obviously changed very much if every player was in their prime. But we'll see what happens in season number 2, which is probably going to be the final season. I think we've gotten the main idea. We'll see the rosters for the Super Bowl teams. I didn't show you guys the Bucs because we've already seen the Bucs. Went over them in pretty great depth. And I think the Bucs probably are going to be in a good spot to make the Super Bowl again, just because of how talented the team is. Still with Antonio Brown being as good as he is, and Tom Brady and Gronk. You lost Richard Sherman, but guys who are actively currently on the team are still getting better and still developing and progressing. Carlton Davis, Sean Murphy-Bunting, Jamel Dean, they're going to be getting into the mid to high 80s this season. So you didn't really need Richard Sherman so much. Antoine Winfield Jr. in the back end too. And of course, the monsters still in the front 7. Levante David, still awesome. Devin White developing. JPP is a monster. And Ndamukong Suh is a monster. This team would go 12-5 again. So we've seen this Tampa Bay Bucs team. The secondary is young and real players. And the front 7 is established guys who are amazing. Jack Barrett. I guess Suh's gone, but Vita Vea is in there as well. Jamar, Stephen, and I don't even know your first name. Tyler Lancaster. Man. All right. No Carlton Davis here, by the way. Oh, that's right. We saw him sign somewhere else. But still, it's quite a good team, even though they got a little bit worse. I think it's safe to say. Chiefs grabbed the 1 seed. A much improved season as opposed to last year. Colts and Steelers in the wild card. Browns, Jets, Patriots, Ravens. Fun matchups. And then in the NFC, Cardinals, Eagles, another bird team in the divisional, best record in the NFC. Cowboys, Washington football team, and then Packers, Bucks. Seen a few of those matchups in recent memory, actually, in the playoffs over the past few years. Tom Brady, he did even better than the previous year. Threw for 6,200 yards. Patrick Mahomes was almost at 6,000 as well. Zeke killed it. Todd Gurley back in there. Look at the receiving leaders. Antonio Brown, oh my, 2142 for yards, 22 touchdowns. Antonio Brown is an NFL record breaker and sacks. This really is like 2013. JJ Watt, Von Miller, Justin Houston. I mean, Von Miller maybe peaked a little bit later, but JJ Watt would have been right up there, maybe even like 2014. But I'm not sure if Justin Houston was still going crazy. What was the year that Justin Houston had like 22 sacks? That was 2014. Okay. So, I mean, 2014, I don't know exactly where Von Miller would have been, but it's possible that these guys were in at least the top 5. I'm just curious to see how that stacks up. So we have Justin Houston with 22, JJ Watt with 20.5. Von Miller had 14. He ranked 6th. But still, you get my point. Casey Hayward had 8 picks. He was so good for a while. Julian Love in there is very odd. Xavier Howard, and then the tackle leaders, you have Reuben Foster, Bobby Wagner, and Roquan Smith. Reuben Foster was on track to being one of the better linebackers in the league. He was awesome, but these numbers do not get better than Tom Brady. Over 6,000 yards considerably, 47 touchdowns to only 5 interceptions. That led the league, I assume, by a lot. Saw Patrick Mahomes earlier with under 6,000, still crazy. 47 touchdowns as well. Double the interceptions of Tom Brady. Matty Ice in there, 5,500. Mariota, over 5,000. He never really developed too much with Tennessee, but I guess in his current playbook, he's airing out the ball a lot and doing so very, very well. Aaron Rodgers, Justin Herbert, Big Ben, only 26 touchdowns. Baker was pretty good overall. Dak Prescott in there. Andy Dalton, again, just killing it. Sam Darnold. Josh Rosen is the starting quarterback for Washington football team. Unreal. Nick Mullins for the Giants? What happened to Cam Newton? It can't be Nick Mullins, man. It can't be. It can't be Nick Mullins. Rushing, Zeke led the league in both yards and average rushing yards per game. I guess that would make sense. The yards per carry is where you might see some variation. Man, Heath Osgood, drafted number 6 overall, had 1 carry for 9 yards. What a season for him. I wish I could sort by qualified. Le'Veon Bell rushed for 6.1 yards per carry. That would be the highest of anyone. Todd Gurley with the Jets in there. Adrian Peterson got a few more touches this year. Was still unreal. Nick Chubb, Jonathan Taylor, Le'Veon Bell we saw. He's not really getting the touches. Who else is in here who wouldn't be otherwise? Melvin Gordon, maybe? David Johnson for sure. LaShawn McCoy for sure. Frank Gore for sure. I'm saying sure versus sure. It definitely was, because it would rhyme. Alshon was fantastic. Julio. John Barber. A random rookie. You're ruining my video. Amari Rodgers. Tyreek, Travis Kelce. I mean, look at the Chiefs. Look at the Chiefs. 1, 2, 3 in the top 10. In the top, 7, 8? Gronk was insane. KJ Osborne, Christian McCaffrey, Mike Evans in there. Josh Gordon has made his way to Green Bay. Antonio Gandy-Golden. Shocking. Shocking. Larry Fitz with the Jets. Jets are just grabbing everybody. Tackles for loss. Ziggy Ansah. Ezekiel Ansah had 22. Tackles for loss with the Lions, the team that initially drafted him. J.J. Watt just going crazy. 25.5 sacks for Von Miller, too. NFL records all around. D-Law, Justin Houston. DeMarcus Lawrence did not pop up the first time. Why do I feel like these numbers changed? I didn't think that Von Miller had 25.5 when I looked at it. Ndamukong Suh's on the Panthers now. Gerald McCoy, Olivier Vernon with Atlanta. Interceptions 8 for Casey Hayward. I mean, he's really good. 95 overall, playing up to a 96. Julian Love. AJ Boye, he was another corner who was really good for a little while. Maybe only about a 2 or 3 year window. But AJ Boye was really good for those about 2 to 3 years. Last year of his Houston contract, and then first couple of years really with Jacksonville, if I recall. Anyone else that doesn't really belong? Who used to be, I mean, Patrick Peterson. But like interceptions is not really a good metric for ranking cornerback skill. Just isn't. And the Bucks narrowly beat the Packers 44-38 to advance to the divisional, where they'll take on Adrian Peterson and Washington football team, Falcons and Eagles, Battle of the Birds, Chiefs, Jets in the divisional. You know what's so odd? I was trying to think of a player that played for both the Chiefs and the Jets. Mike DeVito popped in my head immediately. Like, before I could even have the thought to think of a player that played for both teams. Why Mike DeVito? I'll never know. Played 6 years with the Jets and then 3 for Kansas City. Was never really a particularly great player. I don't know. There's got to be somebody else that fits those two teams, but I can't think of it right now. But at least Mike DeVito only played for those two teams. And then Colts Ravens should be a really, really fun matchup as well. Because you have prime Carson Wentz would still be there. Carson Wentz, he was on a pretty good track to being one of the better QBs in the league. If he's actually developing and progressing, he might be okay. He's up to a 94 overall. So that matchup is, again, actually pretty fun. We'll see who advances out of the divisional round and into the conference championship. And that will be Washington football team out of the NFC. And out of the AFC, it will be Chiefs, Ravens, Falcons make it as well. So some interesting matchups for sure. And should we change teams here? Let's go Kansas City and see what happens. And of course, people always ask how I change teams. So just retire, create a new character, and then boom. You lose your coaching staff points or whatever, but for a video like this, it certainly does not make any difference whatsoever. So we'll change over here. Now we're in the AFC. And we'll see if the Chiefs can beat the Ravens. One game from the Super Bowl. Who is going to make it out? It is the Chiefs, and it is Washington football team. So let's just look at this Chiefs team real quick. So they didn't hold on to Josh Gordon, but Travis Kelce is very good. Tyrann Mathieu at 99, Patrick Mahomes, Tyreek Hill, Joe Tooney, obviously signed a huge contract. Leighton Vander Esch. He was someone who kind of like got worse, was better in the league, or at least perception of him was better when he was a little bit younger, but he's not old. He's just not played at that same level. RG3 is on this team for some reason. Why would they hold on to him? There's got to be someone that would want a 24-year-old, 90 overall quarterback. A shame. A shame. It's not really too exciting of a team. Like, they don't really have a lot of players that fit our theme. Of course, they are in Chiefs playbook. And then Washington football team, of course, going to their old name, but football team's got Adrian Peterson. Most of the players they still have. Landon Collins got a boost in this roster. Who else did? Manti Te'o, even though he was never particularly great, he's developed a lot. He's developed a lot. I don't think I gave him star dev. He must have earned that. Because he, was never a particularly great NFL player. DeMar Dotson. Marius Randall got a slight boost. I mean, again, not really a super exciting team. I want to see, they went 9-8. It's not like they went crazy. I was going to see who their playbook was, but they went 9-8, so it doesn't really matter. All right, I would place a large wager on the Chiefs winning this one, but we'll see. They play the games for a reason. Let's go ahead and watch the first drive. Adrian Peterson is the tailback. Play action, though. And Josh Rosen's their quarterback. He's going to throw deep down the right sideline, wide open, but can't hit Curtis Samuel. I feel like on first 10, you'd probably want to run the ball when your running back is Adrian Peterson. He'll get it on second down, and nothing doing. Peterson completely shut down, and it's 3rd and 8 now for Washington football team. Rosen out of the shotgun, will drop back and throw. Down and intercepted. Picked off by Kansas City. McLaurin chasing him down. He dives and can't catch him. And that's a pick 6 by Rashad Fenton. Josh Rosen. Huge interception on the first drive of the game here in Super Bowl 58, I want to say. That ball just gets out too late. McLaurin was open and Fenton just jumps the route, really. And houses that one. McLaurin, I thought he was going to catch him. Just couldn't. 2nd and 13, we're going to jump back in with Washington football team. And Adrian Peterson bursts up the middle on a slight little draw there. Or at least a delay. Didn't look like a clean handoff. Brings up 3rd and 9 for this putrid Washington football team offense. Rosen takes a shot. And that pass is broken up. And I don't want to watch Washington football team offense anymore. We're going to check in with the Chiefs. See what they can do. I mean, Mahomes was so amazing. This might be fun to watch. The Chiefs offense on the field for the first time. Big time receiving threats at the top of your screen in Tyreek Hill and Mecole Hardman. Electrifying speed. But Mahomes has all day. He's going to throw for one of them. That's Mecole Hardman. 15-yard little out there. We know this is an extremely pass-happy offense. They're going to pitch it this time to Clyde Edwards-Helaire, and he has nowhere to go. That was Jamin Davis on the tackle. Maybe had a little bit of help from Manti Te'o as well with their showing, but I think it was not him making, they're doing most of the hard work there. 2nd and 11. Offset in the backfield is Helaire. He's going to run a route. Mahomes throwing, finds Kelce, the tight end. He stretches for the first down, but looks to be just a tad short. That brings up 3rd and 1. Mahomes operating out of the gun. It's a very odd formation with the running back, Helaire, lining up behind him. And it's going to be a touch pass to Hill. Big time speed, and he gets the first down with ease. Same formation. Will it be the same play? No. Mahomes will throw this time over the middle and intercepted. Quarterback just launching picks and a big stiff arm from Manti Te'o. Washington football team hardly out of this yet. And you know what? We'll see their drive. Starting from Kansas City territory is Josh Rosen from empty. He's going to throw. Unless this is the elusive quarterback draw. But he does throw, finds the tight end. picks up 9. His first completion of the game. And this has to be a run. Heavy formation, I form. Adrian Peterson will get the handoff. He's up the middle and will not break any tackles, but gets the first down with, again, relative ease. Play action. Rosen has all day, but night is here. Frank Clark with the sack. Time just ran out. He had time. He had plenty of time. And this offense, I was right. I should have just stopped watching them. 2nd and 19 now. They have 23 yards of total offense. This is their 3rd drive of the game. And Adrian Peterson has absolutely nowhere to go. You'd think with an offensive line that features Brandon Sheriff at right guard, DeMar Dotson, who's actually good in this at right tackle, you'd think they'd be able to do something, especially running off those guys. But no. It's 3rd and 22. They tried to run on 2nd and 19. It was a bad play call. And Rosen, with all day again, would just check down to known receiving threat, Adrian Peterson in the flat, probably on a table route, for 4 yards and settle for a long field goal attempt. And that kick is well short. Surprise, surprise. Dumb. They tried a 58-yard field goal. Shocking. It was well short. Can I even exit this? Mahomes throwing for Hill. He got the first. Get me out of here. Ooh, Washington football team finally on the board, although they're down 21, now 28 to 10. And they got a safety and then scored a touchdown. This game is far from over. 31-18, 34-18, 34-24. And I think this game's going to be over. Any points now is just, you know, the cherry on top of the sundae. But that is the Super Bowl. The Chiefs are victorious. They're so good in simulation, not only because of their playmakers, but because of their playbook. And Patrick Mahomes has won another Super Bowl. They are a dynasty in Madden simulation, and they're a very good team in real life as well. 2 Super Bowl appearances for Patrick Mahomes already. Of course, he was a 2017 rookie that didn't end up really playing until 2018. So in that time span, he has made 2 Super Bowls and won one of them. Very, very impressive, and adds another one here with a 3 touchdown performance. Yeah, dude, that was a lot of fun spectating. Thanks for that question. But that is going to do it for the video. Thank you for watching. Let me know, what is one player on your favorite team that you wish was in their prime? Let me know down in the comment section below. And I will see you guys in the next one. Subscribe for more videos like this. And if you have any ideas for videos you'd like to see, let me know down in the comment section below. I'll do my best. And I'll see you in the next one. Take it easy.
It's insane, I hit it at the park, bend bones. See me high step to the end zone. My life like a game, Nintendo. Playing with the best, let them know. Get off the track, the train's coming through. Yeah, promise you get in my way, then you best believe I'ma just run over you. Yeah, yeah. Papa turn, taking it back to the house. Defensive joke, I'm laughing so loud. Speedbird's good.